As a teacher of more than 10 years, I've worked with so many great students. And when we teach their learning styles, their confidence in their learning grows exponentially. I'd like to tell you the story of two students. The first is Russell. He's 12 years old, and he loves basketball, and he loves football, and he can tell you anything about his favorite players. He can tell you what teams they played for. He can tell you what colleges they played for. He can probably even tell you what their favorite Halloween candy is. Now, he's an auditory learner. He learns by talking about information and listening to information. Now, Russell struggles in the classroom. So I wondered, how can he do so well learning about his favorite players outside the classroom and struggle in the classroom? I'd like to share a story of another student. His name is Jay. Jay is 10 years old, and he loves superheroes. Now, he doesn't just tell you about superheroes, but he shows you superheroes. He shows you how they move. He shows you how they attack. And when I still get confused of how a lightsaber and a sword differ. He tells me, he's like, no, Mr. Katz, how do you not understand how this works? Now, Jay is a kinesthetic learner. He learns by movement. When he moves his body connected to information, that's how he remembers it. Now, as different as these two students are, they both have something very much in common. They were afraid to go to school today. Not because of some bully, not because they couldn't think of a good enough excuse as to why they didn't do their homework, but because they're afraid of that all too familiar feeling of failure. I'd like to share the story of another student. Her name is Miriam. She's 7 years old, and she can tell you anything. She can tell you any capital of any state. She loves studying maps. See, Miriam is a visual learner. Visual learners learn by studying maps and graphs and tables and charts and text. Now, she does very well in the classroom. So I wonder what's the difference between Russell and Jay, who struggle in the classroom, and Miriam, who does really well in the classroom? Well, most classrooms are designed in a visual format. My idea is that we teach lessons to cover all three learning styles. And I've actually done this many times over the years. For instance, let's take the lesson about the Boston Massacre. Now, the visual learning part is that I would create a web quest, which is a series of websites that the students look at information, and then we come together and discuss the information that they found. To teach us in an auditory way is that I found descriptions from colonists written at the time of the Boston Massacre. And the students read these individually. They each had different ones. They read them into a voice recording device. Now, we would come together, and we would play that voice recording device, and all these voices, and the students would hear the voices from the actual colonists' primary resources to really understand what it was like to live during the Boston Massacre. Now, to teach us in a kinesthetic way, we actually built the Boston Massacre. And here is a picture of that project. Now, the next slide is a project that we did for studying Egypt. We carved hieroglyphics out of Rice Krispie treats. And this last one, that's a medieval society. We built that when we were studying the unit. On the right side, you see the castle. In the middle, you see the merchants. And on the left, you see the peasants, the serfs, the farmers. Now, Jay once told me, the student who loves superheroes, that a superhero is measured by his heart. And superheroes don't just change lives once, but they save lives forever. I want to be a superhero. And if I were a superhero, I'd be an educational superhero. I'd have a big red cape with a giant golden E. Now, if we teach students using all three learning styles, then once again, these students will feel the electrifying power of their own potential. And once again, they'll believe that they can achieve anything that their heart desires. And if we do this, then we all can be educational superheroes. Thank you.